This is an official statement on behalf of the Doctor Who Reviews podcast. A number of reports have surfaced online, insinuating that some ugly scenes took place following the end of last week's show. These reports are, regrettably, 100% true. An argument broke out between the co-hosts, an argument that escalated into a violent confrontation. The full details of this fight will not be released in order to protect the public. All we can say is that someone who shall remain nameless may or may not have kicked down a door, and a chair may or may not have been thrown into someone's face. Everyone who was involved in this unacceptable and disgraceful spectacle was duly suspended for 2 whole days, while an investigation was launched into their conduct. The 3 co-hosts in question investigated themselves and found that they had done nothing wrong. However, in the interest of reconciliation, all 3 individuals have agreed to certain sanctions to ensure this never happens again. As a result, Rain is not allowed to praise Murray Gold at all this week, even for a single second. Kat is hereby prohibited from playing Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, on days of the week not ending in a Y, and Frezno is absolutely forbidden from using his Jenny voice. Honest. We here at Doctor Who Reviews Podcast Incorporated sincerely apologise for the lack of standards, and we would like to personally ensure all of you that it won't happen again. We hope. And now, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Doctor Who Reviews. Before we get to the Doctor Who portion of the podcast this week, it will not escape your attention that something monumental has happened in the UK 3 days ago. 3 days ago? 4 days ago? It was Thursday, wasn't it? 3 days ago, yeah. The Queen passed away at the age of 96, and I understand that, to many different people, she was many different things. For some people, she was a positive figure. For some, not so much. She was a symbol of colonialism for a lot of people. So some are mourning, and some are not. And I am not one to tone police at all. There has been some pretty vile language used on both sides. But I did want to just get that out there and clear the air, because it has to be mentioned. Now that's been said, let's get back to entertaining people. We're here to talk about Full Circle, the Tom Baker episode. And to discuss Full Circle with me, I'm joined by my 2 mutual co-hosts. Firstly, to my virtual left, he's an underground revolution working overtime. It's Freezing Inferno.
Hey, everybody.
Hello yourself. And to my virtual right, she knows she's never going to save the world, so she'll sit here laughing while it all goes by. It's Kat.
How is it that every single time we do these, you keep getting me on point every single time?
Because I'm just that damn good.
Every single time.
I'm just that damn good. So yeah.
Yes, hello everybody.
Full Circle then.
What, me interrupting Rainiac just because I can?
Yes, you do that frequently.
I would never do that.
You do that frequently.
Tomato, tomato.
I think we should agree to not have a go at pronunciation, because that turned into a train wreck last week.
What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, and you're definitely not using that voice again.
I want to live.
Come on, guys! I had a PSA at the start of the episode and everything.
I bit my tongue at the start of the episode.
It took 3 days. It took me 3 days to get the black eye down with an ice cube. 3 days. Come on now.
Oh.
So Full Circle, yes. Tom Baker episode, and first of the East-based trilogy.
We have done exactly backwards on this show. We started with Warrior's Gate back in April 2020, when we started doing classic reviews. Then Halloween last year we did State of Decay, and now we're doing Full Circle.
Which I think you've been waiting to do for quite some time.
We have quite literally come full circle.
We have.
The writer of this one's really interesting. It's credited to Andrew Smith, who was literally like a teenager at the time. And so, you've got all these people like Moffat and Chibnall who like, I grew up watching Doctor Who. I'm steeped in all its tropes, and I'm a big super fan. I know all this shit back to front. Andrew Smith is like the first writer for whom that is true. Literally was born in '63 and so grew up watching Doctor Who.
So yeah, he was like 17 when this was penned.
And they had another rather young person in this story. So hey, wow, it's like passing things on to the next generation who grew up watching Doctor Who. Isn't that great?
You could say they've come full circle.
And yeah. And it's interesting, isn't it? That in 1980 they didn't just go, oh, well, they didn't just go, oh, let's bring back an old companion from 1963 and remember 1964 when the show was good? No.
By the way, for anybody out there, try to determine how many times we will say the words full circle. Do not drink every single time we do, because you may die.
Probably. But
we absolve ourselves of all liability if you do this.
It helps that, the 17-year-old's writing was given the heavy, a good once-over by the script editor, Christopher Bidmead, who I appreciate. I fucking love season 18. I love this season of Doctor Who. Just the wildest shit.
I can see
why. We only have 3 episodes left to cover in it, which
it's very much a season of transition, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all about transition.
This is very much the beginning. This is very much the beginning of it, introducing a new companion. Well, not yet, but in hindsight, yes. This introduces Adric, and Adric goes on to be a companion in the next season, and then...
Yeah, basically they pull his, what's his name, Steve? Where the first episode we meet him, and then the next episode he's actually a companion.
Oh yeah, Steven from The Chase. Yeah. They do that. Holy shit, they are remembering 1965 when the show was good. Oh my god! They're just pulling the same shit!
We made it! Doctor Who 1965!
Funny, because that season is actually coming out on Blu-ray now.
Oh ho!
Excellent.
Which I almost picked The Rescue for this, but then at the last minute I just did up a list of all the Doctor Who's we haven't done yet, and I'm like, oh, full circle. Okay.
The Rescue, you say? My choice next. Maybe I'll pick that.
Cat's back. Cat's back. Let's give her Adric and K9 and do some Gonzo E-Space bullshit. Sounds fun.
It's
I
tell you one thing for free.
You gave me Adric and K9, all right.
I'll tell you one thing for free. It will not be the Aztecs that I pick next time. Private joke from the stream last night.
You're talking in that respectful opening. Let's not poke at colonialism. Next time, the Aztecs.
No. Because Mike said pick the Aztecs. He said, "Cat, pick the Aztecs and make them all suffer." And I said, "No, it's my choice, and I will not be picking the Aztecs."
Yeah, well, Mike says Frontios is bad, so
called out.
I also specifically said that I also don't like the Aztecs, so why would I punish myself?
You did. Also, Mike called out. So
it's okay. It's okay, Mike. You're my quantum leap buddy. You're my Al Calavici.
We start this. Good God, we start this.
Wait, hang on. You're telling me that Mike hates Final Fantasy VII?
I still remember that Photoshop. I still remember that Photoshop you did.
Oh, you mean this Photoshop?
Yes.
This Photoshop on the screen right now? Yeah.
And now Rainiac is in the editing booth. The future Rainiac is in the editing booth going, oh, what did I do? I gave myself extra work.
It's one image on the screen for about 20 seconds. That's not extra work, really.
Only one image, you say?
Oh, God.
Surely it would be terrible if somebody had you add more.
Yeah. And note to self, do not react to anything Cat posts in the Discord call tonight. They can't go in the episode. Then it can't go in the episode. Then I'll just edit out his reaction to it. Checkmate, atheist.
Hey, fun fact, everybody. I'm recording this on my tablet because of intermittent power flicks. And guess what my battery's at?
69?
Yeah! Nice!
Thank you for coming out to the podcast, everybody. No.
So, how about part one of Full Circle?
Yeah, well, part one of Full Circle begins...
Also, maybe plug in your tablet.
Yeah, maybe.
It'll be fine.
It begins at the end of a story we already covered. Meglos.
Which we only covered a little while ago. Absolute gonzo madness with Tom Baker as a cactus. But at the end of that story, we had the doctor come out of the TARDIS and say, or maybe it was Romana. Somebody come out and said, "Oh my God, Gallifrey is calling us back."
Yeah.
Go straight to voicemail. Do not return the call. We're not here. Essentially treat Gallifrey like a debt collector.
That's rather what they do here.
Well,
So they brought the Earthling back to his home safely, and having dropped him off, off screen, he doesn't show up again. Good God, no. He doesn't even get a name, the poor sod. He's just the Earthling.
His name is Poor Sod.
Wouldn't be the worst name in Doctor Who history, to be honest with you.
We do get a bit of that continuity where they set the coordinates of Gallifrey, and the Doctor's like, "Oh, Gallifrey, I can see how Leela's getting on." Which he left Leela on Gallifrey, and K9 Mark 1 also. But Romana is a little distraught over all this and goes to mull it over in her room in the TARDIS.
Yeah, she
Because
has
she
a
doesn't
room
want to
now,
go.
which is a nice touch.
Which that'll be a funny touch for the end of the season when we get to it. Keep that in your pocket for a couple months, for like some months from now, Rain. That she has a room in the TARDIS. In case you have not seen Legopolis.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so she doesn't want to go back, but it's not that she doesn't want to leave, it's that she doesn't want to go back to Gallifrey specifically. She doesn't want to be called back into the service of the Time Lords.
She's like the Doctor now. It's like, oh, traveling time and space, that's fun. Oh, being on boring old Gallifrey, non-interference.
She wants adventure in the great wide somewhere.
You have to remember that she was brought in originally to be his assistant in the Key to Time fiasco.
Yes, which he mentions here and says, well, now that the Key to Time stuff is done, then you can go back to Gallifrey.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to. Fortunately, the decision is made for her. Because behold the viewing globe, it's green goop.
There is a nice line where Romana says, "Well, Doctor, you fought the Time Lords once." "Yeah, and I lost."
That is true.
And then there was some weird thing where it became this really amazing woman who worked for something called Division. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk. Instead, K9 is detecting something weird.
The infinite void.
Alert, alert! 80s video effect detected. 80s video effect detected.
So other than just science bullshit, did they ever explain why this happened to them?
Yes, in a fashion.
If you would let me finish, they do say they go through some sort of, what was it, a CRM?
CVE.
A CVE.
CVE, thank you. They go through some sort of CVE type thing, but do they ever explain exactly why this works?
Yes, they kind of do. It was just random happenstance that they went through this one, but they do explain why these portals to E-space have been opened up, again, in Legopolis. So, put another feather in your hat for that. Yeah, well, we haven't done Legopolis yet.
That would be why I don't remember it.
Legopolis is Tom Baker's last story, so we've kind of been building to that.
It's the one everyone always quotes his final words from.
Yeah.
That's Legopolis.
Okay.
So you may not have seen it, but you will have heard the final words quoted.
You have a lot of faith
I've seen it, and I can't even remember what he says when he regenerates.
It's the end, but the moment is be prepared for.
Yeah, that's it.
I've never heard that.
It's a fairly famous line.
Which someone actually took to be as a grand conspiracy theory that the curator is fucking involved in Day of the Doctor and this shit? Isn't that when Tom Baker regenerates, he goes forward in time to be the curator because he says the moment has been prepared for?
Oh my god.
So it really went like ham on that full tinfoil hat. You gotta
I believe
respect
the
it.
answer to that is no.
No. He just regenerates into Peter Davison. But the TARDIS goes through this. We don't know it's a portal yet, but we know it's a portal. They go through it, and space is now tinted green,
As you do.
Yeah.
which they explain in the audios. In one of the space audios, is I don't know, some sort of tint in the space. Who cares? Whatever. Someone decided E-space should be tainted green to distinguish it from our universe. Because it's a parallel universe.
E-space, the E stands for Earth, so therefore it has to be Earth colored, which is green. And they're just like, okay, yeah, we'll do that.
So the Doctor's like, Canon, what the hell happened to the TARDIS? Nothing's wrong with the TARDIS. It's functioning normally. The TARDIS is functioning perfectly? I said normally, Master. Oh.
I do love the little walk around. He's like, that's impossible. The TARDIS has never worked perfectly.
But anyway, according to the TARDIS scanner, they are on Gallifrey, out in the wilderness outside the Citadel. And so the Doctor goes outside and he's like, Romana! And he's out in the jungle. And it's like, this isn't Gallifrey. Where the fuck are we?
This is not my beautiful Gallifrey.
This is not my beautiful Romana.
Letting the days go by. Okay.
And then went the copyright. So...
What? Did someone say copyright? Hey, cat! The longest you've ever let it play.
He muted me, didn't he?
I don't know.
No, but
He's not saying anything. So.
Remember what I said about not reacting to things? Yeah.
Oh my god, Cat just played the Mariah Carey song. Wow, I cannot believe it. There it is again. Oh my god, it is Mariah Carey.
Is it? I don't hear anything.
Buy Back to the 11th Hour by Krista McTeer on Amazon.com.
That was the perfect time to bring.
You have to leave that one in.
That was the perfect time to bring you back from the mute dimension. So where are we?
Oh,
yeah.
E-Space.
We're not on Gallifrey.
He opened up a CVE and sent Mariah Carey into E-Space, and now the people of Alzarius are like, what the fuck is that?
Where's that gif of Mariah Carey being sealed in the Shadow Realm for 11 months?
So yeah, this planet we eventually learn is called Alzarius, and we see the people, and they're hanging out by a nice river in the jungle, and they're doing their chores, and they're harvesting big watermelon things called the river.
Well, not all of them are doing their chores. Two of these people are just swimming around butt naked.
As you do, and yeah, not all of them are doing their chores because this planet has child delinquents.
The Outliers, which should be outliers really, but the Outliers.
They had to make it sound cool and spacey.
They failed on both accounts.
Well, yes.
And they also failed to steal fruit, and two people by the river are like, hey, get back here! And they chase them into the jungle, and they're like, the hell with it.
Yeah. Their Grand Rebellion is stealing fruit.
Well, the Grand Rebellion is also... The Grand Rebellion with the Outliers is also, not conforming to the assembled, propaganda of their society and just going along with the motions like everyone else.
Yes.
But they also see two of the people in charge of this society.
The Deciders.
Well, one of them is... The other one is their chief scientist, Dexeter, and they're examining the river.
How is it they managed to make the name Dexter sound even more dorky?
By adding an extra E, apparently.
That one extra E.
Because it's E-space.
So yeah, Yeah, they cut open a melon, and Dexter's looking inside and is like, "Ah, yes, Decider, I do see a trace. Could be right."
Oh my god, that's actually it, isn't it? They've added an E because of E-space. Jesus.
Oh my god.
That's actually the answer. Good God.
So wait, what you're telling me is that E-Space works on Kingdom Hearts rules.
Oh
Don't
my
get
god!
me started on that.
Hey, Kingdom Hearts! I've heard of that series. Maybe I should check it out sometime.
Sure, go ahead.
There were far too many debates about what were the non-Organisation 13 names for the Organisation 13 members that we didn't find out the names of, like Larkseen. Far too many debates.
I know Kat didn't take the bait,
honestly,
but I'm honest to God, Mike is probably yelling in the chat as he reacts. Frezno!
No, Frez, you want to know something? This is a slight spoiler for Kingdom Hearts, but there's this organization called Organization 13. They're made out of nobodies, and nobodies no longer have their heart.
Yeah.
One of them is named Axel. Whenever
Got it memorized?
Yes, you know him. So their naming convention is that they add an X and they scramble up the person's name. So his name turned into Axel. Can you guess what his actual name is?
I know what it is.
Ale?
No, it's Leia. Lea.
Leia.
Uh-huh.
That's his name.
He sounds like a right princess
That's
to
the
me.
name that they decided to choose for one of the coolest members of Organization 13.
Okay.
I'm still mad.
I can understand that, but this has nothing to do with Doctor Who. So, yeah, this is our society that we've stepped into here. The world of
Well, we're living in a society here.
Alzarius.
Channeling my inner George Costanza for a moment.
We live in a society, Cosmo.
We'll leave
Look,
in my fist if you don't move
You
on.
brought it up first. Not you, Cat. Frez. But
So
I'm
the kids head back to their hideout, and oh hey, the leader of the Outlers is Varsh, and his little brother is here to join him. And he's this kid in yellow pajamas that nobody gives a shit about. What's his name? Alec.
Adric.
Oh,
So-
that's a little rude.
I can safely say I can see why people didn't like Adric.
If this
He's
was your
a little
first exposure to
magic.
Adric, I can see it too, because he absolutely does not contribute anything of value. And he's a bit of a condescending prick as well. But
All he manages to do this entire serial is take things that don't belong to him, fail to take things that don't belong to him, and then also take things that don't belong to him at the entirely wrong time.
and get people killed. Let's not forget about that.
Oh yes, and get several people killed.
He gets at least 2 people killed. And both people actually, mean a great deal to him. Whoops about that. But Adric wants to join this band of teenage rebels and ne'er-do-wells, if you will. And they don't really want him to join the group. It's kind of hinted that Varsh is, because he's the older brother, he's trying to keep Adric safe and he doesn't want him in the group for that reason. But it's like, oh no, you're harshing our buzz. So if he steals river fruit, they will begrudgingly let him into the group.
Also, as you were saying, the first impressions and all, they're like, well, I bet you think you're better than us, huh? Better than you. I'm a mathematical elite!
Like I said, not the best first impression in the world.
And then he almost immediately decides to hurt somebody as well. So, great job.
Yeah, so there's this talk of Mistfall, this terrible catastrophe that will befall the planet.
Oh, look, what's happening out there in the water?
It's getting a bit misty.
Play Misty for me.
Oh, Staryu!
I was trying not to make that joke, but you made it for
That was
me.
better than my Clint Eastwood reference, so please go ahead. But
Now Rainiac is going to debate the podcast with a chair.
we've done that before. Yeah, so
What?
The
wait,
time
wait,
comes-
we've done that. Wait, Rain, we've done that joke before?
what joke was that? Sorry.
The chair joke?
The chair as in Eris, or...
I was talking about Clint Eastwood debating a chair.
Oh, that? No, we haven't done that joke before. Yes, he debated an empty chair. And
For a second there, I thought we'd come full circle.
Cat, hit the rim shot. Thank you, Cat.
Yep, thank you.
Also, Hal,
So, yeah.
you reacted to that one, so now you have to put it in.
I mean, I asked for it, so yes.
So yeah, the water's starting to boil, and bubble and boil, and get all misty. Those two people that were swimming are suddenly like, ah!
And Adric thinks this is a perfect time to steal the fruit and join the gang.
Well, yeah. As Drath announces, well, it's time. It's Mistfall. It's here. Everybody onto the Starliner, which we'll soon see what the Starliner's all about.
Yeah.
But then Adric tries to steal fruit, and Drath is like, Adric, come back here.
Yeah, Drake
Adric tried to steal some fruit, but he missed.
And he tried to run away, but he tripped.
Good God. Took me a second, then I groaned internally.
And then Stephen King comes in and it's like, dudes, what the hell?
What?
And then he fired
Or
me.
did he write The Mist after this episode aired?
No, The Mist was a little, I'd say The Mist was a little earlier than this.
And then he fired, and
Dude,
then he missed.
the hell?
Yeah. You know what's funny is that he wrote it, and then they made the movie, and then they made the ending of the movie way fucking darker.
Yeah.
They made the end of the movie real better, you mean?
Speaking of dark things happening, how about a drowning?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of dark things?
Yeah, how about a drowning?
Oh, boy.
Because Drafe, who is one of the deciders, by the way, as well as Adric's tutor, falls into the river.
Well, you're skipping over that thing you were talking about with Adric before.
Oh, yeah, he tries to steal the fruit because he uses the confusion of the Starliner. Like, everyone on board the Starliner. He runs away. Drafe chases after him.
Bravely, Sir Robin ran.
Adric trips and falls, and then Drace tries to get him back up. It's like, Adric, come on. We got to get back to the Starliner. And Adric wrestles with him. No.
Yeah.
And this causes Drace to fall and bonk his head and hurt himself.
And then something...
Which puts him near the water's edge.
Yeah,
and then
something grabs him.
Conveniently tuck him into the water, into the watery abyss.
And just before he disappears to the depths below, he shouts out, "Tell Dexter, we've come full circle." And Dexter replies, "Treve, get out of my laboratory."
God almighty.
Did he?
Fuck's sakes.
I messed up the joke, but then I saved it. It's alright. I meant to say
That's
It's
did.
okay. He'll cut that out in the edit to make him.
No, I won't. I'm going to keep this mess up in.
He lied.
You know what you earned for that, Rainiac?
Booing.
Omelette du fromage.
Oh, God. That's right! The capital city of Omelette du Fromage! That's such a good sketch.
Oh, God.
No, I want you to dance around. Okay, but that costs extra.
That's all you can say. So, yeah. So, Drafe is gone.
Apparently, I'm the only one who remembers that joke from Dexter's Lab.
I never really watched that show, man.
That show was such a long time ago, but,
Gaspeth. Yeah, he basically, hires a prostitute without hiring a prostitute, because kid show.
Oh, yes. Now I remember. Good God.
Because he misses D&D wrecking stuff around his lab.
How did they get away with that? My goodness.
How did the 90s get away with a lot of shit, honestly?
I mean, Freakazoid is now 27 years old, if you want to be,
I miss Freakazoid.
Same. And then Batman turned 30. That same week. Oh, I miss Monday when things were so much better.
God, I feel.
Remember Monday when the show was good?
Remember Monday when the country wasn't fucked?
I know. Okay, right. I know what you mean by the recent events, but remember last week when your country wasn't fucked? I'm sorry. That's a good one.
I know. Maybe that's why I said it.
Wait, your country wasn't fucked at some point?
He's gone. Drafe is dead. Adric gets out of the situation, in a blind panic. He's injured his leg. The Doctor and Romana find him and take him into the TARDIS. And he's got, like, Wolverine's healing factor, because, my goodness.
Well, that comes up later.
That's not what happens. In fact, what happens is the worst acting I have ever seen because somebody messed up the sound design.
Womp.
Well, that too.
So, Adric manages to find the TARDIS, and he starts hammering on the door, and Romana acts as if the sound has stopped, even though it's still continuing while she's saying her lines. And she's like, "Doctor, did you hear that?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
And meanwhile,
and then she lets Adric in. But it's like some of the worst ADR work I've seen.
I think I tried to memory hold that, and you brought it back, so thanks for that.
Welcome.
Hooray.
But he does have this ridiculously short healing time. Mm-hmm. And it is, I believe, explained in part 4.
Yes, that is
part of the underlying mystery of the whole of what's going on
this planet. Yeah.
While that's going on, we have a power vacuum to fill here. So we have a missing decider. He's obviously dead. So we need somebody to take his place.
The Elzarians are piling into the Starliner, which is this great big parked spaceship out in the middle of the jungle. And so they're all going to get in and seal and lock themselves in for like a decade while the mist takes over their planet.
Well, he says it could be a decade, it could be longer. It just depends on how long the mists actually last.
So Gareth and Nefred, I hate the fact these names are just stupid. They approach a man who is well respected on the colony. And again, stupid name alert, Logan.
You're just bringing up Wolverine and you're saying Logan's a stupid name?
It's Login, not Logan.
No, they say it Logan.
Oh, because it's literally spelt Login.
Did you not listen to how they pronounce it in the episode? They say Logan.
Gee, who's having trouble with pronunciation now? Ugh.
We said we wouldn't do that because Chair.
You said you wouldn't do that.
Black Eye, 3 days, Ice Cube. Need I say more?
I said I wouldn't do this either, but here we are. You've ruined everything.
Alright, I feel better now.
Okay, so Logan, but it's spelt Login. It's spelt Login, okay? It
is spelled with an I, yes.
Yeah.
But it is said Logan.
Okay, so Logan is this prominent citizen that they approach to be their third member. And he eventually accepts. I think he sort of ums and ahs over it because he's worried about his daughter.
Who's one of the Outliers.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know that. She just didn't return to the Starliner.
Pretty sure he knows that she's a delinquent.
And neither
going against.
And neither did Drafe. And then, before we have time to ponder this, we have Kanan and the Doctor out on the marshes, investigating, scanning, whatever you want to call it. And our cliffhanger is, what's that coming from the marsh? Oh no, it's some marshmen.
This cliffhanger. You know, it's a good reveal. I mean, again, like I said, with the fact that Andrew Smith definitely grew up on Classic Who, it very much reeks of that one cliffhanger from the Sea Boys, where they rise out of the ocean and it's like, oh shit.
You know what this also kind of says to me? It says that women are from Venus and men are from Marsh.
Ah!
I didn't even have to ask you to hit the rim shot button. You just did it anyway.
What's that? Hit the rim shot button. And before we go to part 2, we should mention, and it'll come from the reprise again, there's 2 important things. That the Doctor's been taking the TARDIS half apart to try and figure out why it's showing Gallifrey when they're not on Gallifrey. And then Adric is, like he says, he's saying, oh, I'm going to go out and try to find my friends. What about your leg? Oh, I'm all healed. Oh, Adric, come on. And he pulls out the Band-Aid and shows Romana, hey, my leg is fully healed. I've got accelerated healing.
Can I also say how weird it is that the Doctor decides to put on a bandage on Adric? over his clothes.
It's weird.
That is weird.
But Romana also gives Adric a homing beacon so he can find the TARDIS again.
That's true.
And regarding the whole thing with the TARDIS being broken, there's a bit of technobow where they said it could be something with the image translator reading the absolute coordinates of the thing, but and not any other coordinates. And they're like, but real space doesn't have negative coordinates. Oh,
Yes,
that's not a good
real
idea.
space.
That's not a good thought.
Not at all, no.
So part 2 then.
Part 2. And
Oh, we should probably also mention that 2 of the Outliers decide that they're done with this shit and they're just going to run straight to the starship. So they're on there. And who's left is Draith, Kiera, and of course, Adric.
Draith? No, Draith's the old guy that drowned. Varsh.
No, yeah, right. Who's the other?
Varsh, Tylos, Kiera, and Adric.
Tylos, Kiera, and Adric.
No, what's the name of his brother?
Varsh.
Varsh.
Okay. Varsh, Kiara, and Adric are who are left.
The leader of the...
Look, these are silly ass names.
They are silly names, I absolutely agree with you. But, anyway, the cliffhanger is resolved by not really being resolved.
I mean,
There are
the
Marshmen.
point of the
They
cliffhanger is... the point of the cliffhanger is, hey, here's a monster. And this is the monster of the story. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's
And
not,
the doctor
it's
just
not
sort
about
of is like-
cliffhanger, is it? It's not like the traditional vein of here's a peril, how will they get out of it?
Well, this part has here's a peril. How will they get out of the cliffhanger?
Please go ahead.
Well, we got to go through the part first, but Adric is back at the cave, and he's telling the Atlas all about what happened. And they're like, oh, God, what Mistfall's real. Oh, we should go to the Starliner. No, we'll go to the TARDIS. And Adric's like, oh, it's not big enough. You said it was bigger on the inside. I don't know how to get there. We've got the home beacon. We know how to get there. Oh.
Yeah, see, they don't explain this very well, at least in my opinion, because Chris was here watching it with me, and we were both very confused as to why Adric did not want them to go to the TARDIS. It wasn't until later that they actually get to the TARDIS and they decide, hey, we're going to take this at knife point. And that's when we realized, oh,
Yeah.
that's why Adric doesn't want them to do it, because he knows that they're going to take it over.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're not actually explaining that's the reason why.
Delinquent's gonna delinquent, I guess.
It gets... Yeah. So, these things that came out of the water, the Marshmen, they're called. They're acclimatizing, as the doctor notes. And he sends K9 off to track them with heroic 80s music.
We should also mention that the doctor notices the mist, and I believe in part 1, he says that it's perfectly non-toxic and fine to breathe. Even
Yeah.
though everybody else is afraid.
So why is everyone panicking about a little bit of mist?
But there's also another marsh creature which comes out later and is scared of the doctor. This is a younger marsh.
Yeah, they
creature.
call it the Marsh
They call-
Child.
Yeah. And so that little thing's around. But like I said, Adric and the other Atlas reach the TARDIS and basically attempt to take it over at knife point.
And Romana
Good
is
job,
not having.
Adric.
And Romana is not having that shit. She's not having that at all.
Yeah.
Well, she's not happy about it, but she doesn't do anything until later when Adric finally steps in and does something.
Well, she does manage to get control of it, but then at that point it starts rocking back and forth.
Which, yeah, that'll be fun, but... So on the Starliner then, Nefred, now that Draith is... they've sealed up the thing, so... Logan has sadly, just really quickly, I think, sort of gone, oh well, my daughter's gone. Oh, onward for the sake of the community.
Well, I mean, what else can he possibly do?
My daughter is
Full
clearly
emotion?
dead.
I don't know.
My daughter is dead. Oh no! Anyway,
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, now Nefred is the first decider. He's taken over the role leader from Drath, and he gets access to the system files, which is like the secret knowledge that only the first decider can decide. And it's
This
like,
is wild
oh my
to
God,
me
holy
that
shit.
this is wild to me that in 1980, and we've got somebody spelt the name login and system files in 1980.
Computers were a thing.
I love the fact that the system files are just a bunch of paper booklets.
Yeah.
That's so silly to me.
And so the two of them decide that their new third decider is going to be Logan.
They basically.
And back on the TARDIS,
Yeah.
Adric decides, maybe we shouldn't threaten this nice lady who helped me at knife point. And wrestles with Tylos with the knife. It falls down. Romana takes it. She's got the knife at Tylos, and then she gives it back to him. And it's like,
yeah, it's her way
okay.
of showing him that, like, she means no harm to any of them. It's like, you're all idiots. You're trying to take this as a knife point when all you had to do was ask.
Yeah, we see this a few times, don't we, with the Doctor predominantly, where somebody's got a weapon and then say, put it down, I'm going to give it back to you as a show of trust. He does it in End of the World. Enemy of the World.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there are other examples we could think of.
Anyway, it's fine. Romana knows what she's doing. She'll take these kids anywhere they want to go. All she can do is pilot this TARDIS with a push of a button. Oh God, why is it lurching?
Why is it lurching?
And this is some peak. Have y'all watched much Star Trek?
No.
The parts in Star Trek where they're on the bridge and like there's an enemy ship and there's a photon torpedo and they all have to bounce around in their chairs like, heavy damage to the shields, Captain.
Yeah, they have to fake it. And no.
This is the same kind of acting where they had to pretend that this ship is out of control and they just had to run back and forth along the TARDIS and go, whoa, we're falling down.
That's my favorite part is one of the dudes, like, jogs his way across the TARDIS and then slides into position. And it's like,
yeah.
You're not doing very good there, dude.
And action!
It's some peak, oh no, the ship is out of control action. It's funny. I don't know where I saw this now, but I did see a GIF where they do shake correction on all the times in Star Trek where the bridge shakes and they bounce around. And so they're just standing still and they're just bouncing around in their chair. It's like, oh, hold the shields, Mr. Worf.
That does sound funny to me.
Yeah.
So now it's time for some breaking and entering because the Marshmen are pounding. Because they're like, sorry to use this word, but they are primitive creatures. Their words, not mine. But they're pounding on the door to get into the Starliner. Obviously, they're not succeeding. And then along comes the Doctor and his sonic screwdriver.
They're not really pounding on the They're pounding on the TARDIS.
Yeah, they're not pounding on the Starliner. Did you actually watch this serial?
Yes, I did. Shut up.
But no, they're not pounding on anything at this point. The Doctor just walks up, sees the Starliner, heads towards it, and he's got the Marsh child following him. So he opens the door, gets inside, does not think to close the door at any point, picks up one of the melons, stabs it with a knife, and then leaves it to walk down a corridor, comes back, and the knife's gone because the Marsh child took it.
Yeah.
And the Marsh child does nothing with this knife, but anyway.
No, the Marsh child just gets inside the base.
And then he starts to walk down a hallway, comes back, closes the door. And it's like, why didn't you do that before? I know we needed to let the Marsh child on, but still.
Also, Kat, I did watch this, but, things that have happened kind of threw it out of my mind. Parts of it out of my mind. It has been a very stressful time. And yes, I know it's my fault, but still.
It's like your fault that.
No, the fact I've let it affect me. The fact I've let it affect me and let it knock things out of my brain about this episode. That is my fault because I wasn't organised enough.
See, you gotta just do what I do, and that's watch it again the night before.
Yeah, fair. I probably should have done that.
Or do what I do and just watch it that time. Like I watched it. I watched 2 parts on Saturday and 2 parts this morning, so I'll freshen my head.
That's what I should have done. Yeah, you're right. But anyway,
So we get some.
We
We
now
get
have a
some more.
Marsh child roaming around free, and please continue.
Yeah. So we get some little backstory about these people in the ship. They are the So the ancestors of Alzarius were from the planet Pterodon, actually, and came on the Starliner. So these people aren't actually from the planet Alzarius. They're from the planet Pterodon, and this ship crashed, and they're descended from these people, and trying to fix their ship so they can go back, which they call the Great Embarkation.
Yeah, so that's what these people are doing the entire time that you see them, is they're all walking around the ship just repairing various things.
So when Romana lands, after the TARDIS is done, she opens the scanner, and it's still showing Gallifrey, and it's like, I guess we need a local image translator to see what's outside. And what's
Adric's
outside?
like, well, Adric
What?
is like, why don't you just look out the door? And Ramon's just, okay, fine.
Because and they look at the door and there's Marshmen with sticks and they're trying to beat the TARDIS down. Okay, that's why you don't look at the door, because there could be something trying to kill you out there.
So that rocking on the TARDIS earlier, it turns out that it was being moved by force.
See, this part though, I'm not entirely sure about, because Romana just say that it feels like it's being carried by something. But not only does Adric say that there is no machinery that could possibly pick up the TARDIS, but we also don't see anything that could pick up the TARDIS and put it deep inside of a cave.
No, is it
So I'm
don't
thinking
think
that
so.
it's just the TARDIS moving.
It's meant to be the Marshmen, isn't it? But I agree with you.
Yeah, no, I agree with Kat. That's the read I got. It's the TARDIS moving, and because it was half taken apart, it was a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
And thus we got the funny Star Trek style acting.
Because everything else doesn't make sense, because, like, again, they don't show anything big enough to take the TARDIS. Adric confirms there's no machinery that could pick up the TARDIS. The Marshmen definitely don't look strong enough to pick up the TARDIS. And even then, they would just attack the TARDIS where it is rather than moving it.
Back on the
Not
Starliner.
to mention that the Doctor comes up to where the TARDIS was, and they have a very nicely spray-painted square where it had landed. And he doesn't see anything that could have picked up the TARDIS, which he definitely would have.
They got it spray painted there so Tom Baker can do like miming. Boop, 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 boop. Where is it? Where is it? But back on the Starliner, there's a bunch of Alzarians who are doing the repairs, and then they see the Marsh child, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's a Marsh man! Kill it!" And the Doctor comes up from behind him. Don't antagonize it. Don't antagonize it. You know, who the hell are you? I'm just here to help. And this Alzarian, instead of saying, "Oh, that's right, okay, let's let you help," he beats the Doctor over the head.
Yep.
And they bum rush the Marsh child to catch it and throw it in the net.
I love the hesitation of the guy, too, is like, should I hit? I'm gonna hit, no. Alright, I'll hit him, bonk.
I mean, the hesitation kind of makes sense if they're nervous.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but it was still funny to me.
Like, what if I hit him and he doesn't go down? Then I'm in real trouble. So it's like, got to make sure I get this right. Smack.
Yeah. And so now they're both captured. And now this is the part where Kat is going to kill me.
Yes.
Yeah, because
yes,
This is a funny story that I need to tell on the podcast. Okay. So I picked Full Circle last week. And then I realized, oh shit. Because at the end of this part, we're going to have a bunch of alien spiders. I realized, oh shit, Kat doesn't like spiders. And so I said, hey Kat, fair warning, the Full Circle has some spiders, but they're like, it's classic Doctor Who, so they're rubber spiders. And you were like, okay, thanks for the heads up. And this morning I wake up to a DM, you bastard, I just watched part 2. I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit, Kat. I'm sorry. I didn't know the spiders were going to be that bad. I didn't know. It's my B, sorry. And you're like, no, they're not fucking spiders. Because
K9...
Romana walks out into the cave, K9 comes to help her, and then one of the Marshmen knocks his block off.
Literally. Just takes his head clean off. Leads the
I was promised K9. And what do I get? I get him messing up something in the TARDIS. I get his epic, rolling music. And then his head comes off.
And now you know how
It could
kids
be
around the world felt when the Tagasaur's head fell off in
Season
Power Rangers.
18 really, it really fucks with K9. Like, let's go through real quick. Leisure Hive. Part 1, he goes out into the ocean and short circuits and is fried for the entire episode. Meglos, fucking General Grugger kicks him.
Yeah.
We got this, where his head gets fucking knocked off. We got State of Decay, which actually is the best showing of K9 this season, where, he gets to go around and laser guards and do all this other cool action stuff. And then we got Warrior's Gate, where we have him half corroded by corruption of the Time Winds, and then a guy fucking picks him up and throws him out and hurls him.
Yeah, and then he has to stay behind with Romana.
So, yeah, State of Decay actually the best showing, and this is indeed this may be one of the better showings of K9, because at least he's in half of it.
Absolutely.
I'm still mad.
So. But, yeah, the Marshmen are apparently adapting, and they posit this grand plan where they're going to use the sticks to roll the TARDIS down onto the Starliner like a giant boulder.
A giant battering ram, I believe.
Which, what?
They're going to need to tell us like a battering ram on the...
This comes out of nowhere and goes nowhere.
Which
This
is
is
why
true.
Romana goes out, and then the horrible thing happens to K9. But then suddenly the Marshmen are spooked off. Because the melons are hatching.
Well, before that, we should get to the Doctor on the Starliner.
Oh, great, the interrogation scene.
So he tells them all about Draith, and they're like, how did you know? Oh, I heard from Adric. And then this is when Logan realized, wait a minute, the mist isn't toxic? How did... But... And so we learn, oh, yeah, actually, we lied. But, it's fitting that the citizens believe the mist are dangerous. It keeps them in check, keeps them in line, Good propaganda. But my daughter might still be alive. Yeah, which is what we want. But, in any other Doctor Who story, this would be part of...
Okay, everybody. Mother knows best.
In any other Doctor Who story, this would be like the whole, it's the sinister regime keeping the people in check and keeping them suppressed for their nefarious schemes of holding on to power. Which
No, they're just bumbling idiots.
They're just bumbling idiots. That's the twist of this, which we'll find out in part 3 or 4.
Well, it's a bit more to it than just bumbling idiots. There is... It's
They're
not a conspiracy.
idiots.
It's not a conspiracy, but there is a secret that's being kept hidden from everybody.
I want to talk about that secret when we get to it, because holy shit, I love that secret.
It's a secret. Shut up.
Yeah. But, yeah. Anyway, Dexter wants to is going to examine the Marsh child with the Doctor. And then we get to the part 2 cliffhanger, which is the bit where I remembered in hindsight, I was like, oh shit, Kat's going to be spooked by this.
And it turns out she was fine. Which
That's
I
surprises
wasn't
us.
at first. They're still pretty gross, but I got over it because
We'll skim over it, but basically the melons that Frezno has been referring to are in fact eggs.
Melons! Yeah, melons!
I was distracted by that giant flying Johnson.
So, anyways, yes, the tiny moons start hatching.
Tiny moons?
Oh, come on! Kill the moon!
Ah!
And now we've come full circle.
But pish.
Hey, you know what else is a circle?
doesn't deserve
An egg!
one.
Wait, no, it's an oval. Never mind.
Not even the energy to just play the rim shot. I love it. So, and the presence of these spiders makes everyone freak the hell out. The delinquents go, oh my god, get out of here. They run inside the TARDIS to escape. Romana can't quite get there.
I love Romana's unconcerned. These kids are like, oh my god, they're only spiders.
Yeah, because she's the adult in this situation.
So yeah, the kids run into the TARDIS and they start hitting random buttons. And Adric tries to hit a button to open the door to get Romana, but accidentally makes the fucking thing take off.
Nice job breaking it, hero.
Romana is backing away from the spider. She picks up a melon to try to throw at him. It hatches, and this thing latches onto her face and bites her, and she passes out. Roll credits.
Yeah, so you remember there wasn't much peril in part 1, there is in part 2's cliffhanger. My goodness.
Oh no, Romana got a spider bite. Whatever will we do?
Well, it's rather more than that, as we find out a bit later on.
Oh yeah.
Part
Part 3 emerges, and part 3, we have more, we have them, examining the Marsh child and finding out what's going on with the Marsh child. And the Doctor, to his credit, is very, very angry at Dexter for...
Yeah,
He'll get even more pissed off at Dexter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He gets
Dexter,
really
the
pissed
usual
off at
scientist
Dexter
thing.
later.
It's I don't have to justify myself to you, Doctor. This is science. The ends justify the means. No, they don't. But still.
Yeah. I want to blow up the fucking world in Atlantis. It's science, Doctor.
I want to turn the people of the world into dinosaurs. I could cure cancer, but I don't want to. Dinosaurs.
I just knew that you would bring up that, Frez.
I had no idea
Atlantis.
Kat would bring up that one dinosaur man from Spider-Man. That's okay. But the Doctor asks a very important question. It's like, you guys are preparing the embarkation to repair the ship and leave Alzeria, so why even bother studying the Marshmen if you're leaving anyway? And then he's talking with Logan, and he's like, and Logan says, "Oh well, the things will take a long time. You keep doing generations. That seems a bit long." But Logan makes a deal with the Doctor because Logan wants him to show how he got in. Which, I mean, he got in with the Sonic, but he's like, "I'll make you a deal, Doctor. We'll help you. I'll let you go out and find the TARDIS if you go out and also find my daughter." Which, neither of those are necessary because at that very moment the TARDIS lands inside the Starliner. And
here's his daughter.
With his daughter inside of it.
Which is a great bit because Tom Baker walks up and is like, "Oh, goody. Romana, what? Who are you? Romana? No?
Yeah.
Romana? Adric, is this Noah's Ark? Where the hell is Romana?"
Oh no, Romana has regenerated into a 16-year-old girl. How could that ever have happened? No, that's just Kiara. And, yeah, so the Doctor he was not happy when he was talking to Dexter. He's really unhappy now Romana's gone missing.
Yeah. Well, he's more unhappy about the fact that they just sort of left her there.
Yeah. So he decides to, right, well, if you're not gonna do anything about her, I'll go and find her. So he presumably just, checks the coordinates for where the TARDIS was last and reverses it. He ends up back in the cave, and there's Romana. She seems to be okay, but she is, well, missing her memories. Like, she's not, like, comatose. She's alert. She can respond.
Sitting up and talking.
Yeah, but she can't seem to remember much of anything. So the spider
She even says to the Doctor, "Who are you?"
Romana predicts the TV movie. 16 years early. Who am I? Only I can't do it justice with the echo effect.
Anyways.
Did you just drop something because of that?
Maybe. Anyways, the Doctor gets back to the Starliner, and he's got Romana in bed, trying to make sure that she's doing okay. And he wants to, go back and, try to help them with the Marsh Child stuff. He enters into the Deciders area, but at this time, while he was trying to pick up Romana, he's there. The Dexter is there saying, "We have a specimen. It'd be the perfect time to do some science. Come on, we could do some science, please."
Yeah,
please?
The Deciders are busy because on the one hand, they've put the three rebels, the three Outlers, on trial essentially, like an inquiry. Adric is spared from the inquiry. presumably
Who's
because
Adric?
he wasn't an outlet, and they don't know what happened with Drafe, but they just know he's dead. So that's going on, and that doesn't end particularly well for those three. Meanwhile, you've got, as you rightly say, you've got Dexter, who is begging and pleading to experiment on the Marsh Child.
Yeah.
And this character, I do not like this character at all. He's a piece of work.
Oh.
So yeah, he's a real piece of work.
Isn't he just that Dexter?
But back to the Inquiry, it's not the Inquiry I like so much as the aftermath of it, and it's sort of like ironically liking it because
Nice.
basically Adric is absent because he's in the TARDIS. He's working with the Doctor at this point. So it's Vash, Tylos, and Kiara are brought before the Inquiry, and it's just the deciders, just the three deciders, standing in judgment over them. And even though Logan, and yes, I checked, it is Logan, not Logan, apologies.
I told you.
Alright, well, even though Logan is Kiara's father, it doesn't help their treatment that much. And
Logan is part of the system at this point, so...
Yes, he is. And I don't think Kiara ever tries to appeal, come on, father, I'm your daughter. She never does anything like that. I think she just resigns to the fact this is going to happen. But Logan does put in a good word for them by basically saying they're children. It's a very backhanded way to put in a good word for them.
Which makes me wonder, what would happen if an adult decided not to play with the system of, oh, we must work for the embarkation. I must dedicate my life to the maintenance.
Oh, they'd be thrown out the Star Line to be devoured by Marshmen. I have no doubts in my mind.
Which, kind of wild considering what we learn later.
And we are skipping ahead a little bit, but I just want to talk about what their form of their punishment takes, because it's hilarious. So they decide there will be no punishment. And then they're put to work working on the Star Line like everyone else, which is actually a punishment because, they're rebels. They're delinquents. They don't conform to the system. But it's the way that they work on it. So Kiara's got like this sort of futuristic, I don't know, clipboard or something. Like book, like she's telling them what to do. And then there's a guy supervising them, obviously. And then Tylos just like gets the reg, opens up the thing, is like, smile, puts it back. Right, move on to the next one.
Which, yeah, it's pointless nonsense busy work, but that's kind of...
Which does fit into the overall plot of the episode. But it just made me laugh, because you say, oh, writer's got to eat. This is literally writer's got to eat.
That 17-year-old writer's got to... I mean, look, you've got to make the Happy Meal, I don't know.
A Happy Meal. Oh, man, that's cliche.
He's got to go to...
Get that boy a Big Mac.
Get that boy a Big Mac.
So that's one decision that the deciders take. The other one has far-reaching consequences.
Oh, goody.
So earlier on, Dexter, was pleading with the deciders to let him experiment on the Marsh Child, and they said you can do it, but on one condition: we must observe. So the way they observe is they
have to keep it secret.
Yeah, obviously, it's a secret. Shut up.
Again, they say basically, oh, we've never examined the Marshman before, so that the people won't ask questions. And Dexter even says that, you've built a wall of deliberate ignorance.
Yeah, but he doesn't like judge them for it. He's just like stating the facts.
Okay.
This is what happened. So yeah, Logan and Gareth. I nearly called him Logan again. Logan and Gareth tell him you can do this, but we have to observe, and you've got to keep it secret. So the way they do this is that they bustle the delinquents and everyone else out of the room, and then they turn on the screen, and there's Dexter. And he's about to just make the first decision when the Doctor storms are going, I object!
He's really pissed off.
I love this. If you want Tom Baker to steal the show, have him do Indignant Rage, because he does it so well.
It's not something he does that often, Tom Baker.
No?
We haven't covered it, but have you seen The Pirate Planet from the Key to...
I have not. Does he do that in this? In that?
He does. Have you heard the Appreciate It? Appreciate It? Have you seen that clip?
Oh, that's from there.
Yes, yeah. That's the other example I can think of where Tom Baker his doctor just gets incredibly outraged and pissed off.
Yeah.
But he hits that same register here as Dexter is about to do his shit with the Marsh Child. Which, he's not the only one pissed.
No. How about the Marsh Child itself?
How about, Romana?
Oh, yeah, that too.
Oh, oh, look at that. She's got some weird shit on her face. What is that?
Glowing lines.
Ooh. Everyone's screaming. The Marsh Child's screaming. The Marsh Child goes ape shit and just breaks out and chokes the fucking life out of Dexter.
That's right. So Romana screams, and that seems to trigger the Marsh Child.
Is going wild, kills Dexter, and then starts fucking up the lab like it's Tommy Wiseau in the room.
You're tearing me apart, Dexter.
I fed up with everyone in this world. But then this is sad.
Oh, hi, Adric.
The Marsh Child sees the doctor on the screen and is like, well, he doesn't say anything, but it's like, doctor, friend, tries to reach.
Oh, yeah, this is sad.
And is fucking up, pounding at the screen to get at the doctor, and pounds right through it and electrocutes itself and dies.
And the doctor knows what's going to happen because he's saying, no, don't do it.
And here comes the big confrontation, which is subversive in a way, because, we've seen that this society has been keeping things from the populace to make them happy and compliant and in obedience with the status quo of the embarkation for perhaps sinister intent, but then the doctor just lays into them. You deciders allowed this shit to happen.
Yes, they did. Well, two of them did.
Logan just got here.
Logan wasn't really in the system at that point.
I would argue Logan is part of the system point. Because he's like, he was like, oh, my daughter's out there. No, we can't go and get your daughter. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a part of it, But the doctor knows the secret of the embarkation.
Oh, this is wild. This reveal is wild. It's one of two really wild reveals.
So they're saying, oh my God, everything that we do, all these things that you call evil, they're all for the greater good.
The greater good.
Stop saying that! You hot buzz bullshit, but it's all to prepare for the great embarkation. And the doctor's like, prepare for the great embarkation? And he goes up to the system files and he just starts pulling folders out and he reveals the control panel and he says, this ship could take off in half an hour if you wanted to.
He just tears off a panel, basically.
Yeah.
Revealing a bank of flashing lights, and yeah, it's ready to go.
And they're like, are you accusing us of willful procrastination? Yes! The willful procrastination of endless procedure, clinging to the old order. And here's where we get the twist, which I suppose, like I said, Andrew Smith grew up on classic Doctor Who, so he's seen a million of these things where it's like, we're keeping this secret for our own personal gain, our own deep dark secret. And the deep dark secret is that these people are idiots. The secret is they don't know what the fuck they're doing. The system files have every meticulous detail about the Starliner. They can put it together, they can take it apart and put it back together again, which is basically what they're doing. It's just endless busy work of taking it apart and putting it back together meticulously because they have every bit of knowledge except how to fly the ship.
Yeah.
So for generations they don't have this knowledge, so they've just been stalling.
Also,
they don't know how to fly.
Big pop here for the secret is they're all idiots.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah. And right as they admit this, we see what you said before with the antlers having to work on the maintenance, which we now know is just pointless, busy work to maintain the status quo and keep people thinking that there's a fucking point to this system.
It's grinding in a video game for no purpose.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, you mentioned busy work.
Yeah. It's just this entire... I mean, not to get all, capitalism, but it's just the entire thing is just pointless busy work for no fucking reason that these people have somehow still, like, their entire society has built up to be like, oh yeah, the embarkation, put this in, put that out, put this in, put that out, do that for 10 years. That's just the way things are. That's just the system. And I won't live to see the Starliner take off, but my kids will, and then the kids grow up and they're like, oh man, well, I won't live to see the Starliner take off, put this in, put that out, take this in, put that out, but my kids will, and this has gone on and on and on and on and on and on for generations because they can't admit to the people, we don't know how to fly this thing, we don't have a plan.
Yeah. And it's also saying something about authority figures.
Yeah.
And I know how you like it when Doctor Who stories actually say something about something, and it's saying something about something here for sure.
Oh yeah.
The idea that endless procrastination is bad and taking action is good.
That's it.
Even if that action might lead to, consequences. It's better than sitting around doing nothing.
Like, think about the Outliers again. Think about the fact that they don't play with the system. Is the objection that, oh, you're not being a part of the community and working on the Great Embarkation? Or is the objection, oh shit, if they don't play along, they might realize that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing?
It could be that. It could be both.
Yeah. It's wild. And so, well, after that, the Doctor is playing around in the science lab. He's examining one of the spiders, and he's like, wait a minute. I've seen these types of cells before. That's wild. But, then we find that Romana's gone.
Yeah. Adric was sent back to the TARDIS by the Doctor when he was confronting the Deciders earlier. Ostensibly to look for Romana, but Romana's not there. Her room's been apparently completely ransacked. Because, again, she has her own room in the TARDIS. So it's been completely trashed.
Oh my god, Tommy Wiseau's been here too!
He gets everywhere, that man. So, has she been kidnapped? Well, no, because here's the cliffhanger of part 3. And again, like a lot of things in Full Circle, this is wild. The lines on Romana's face have now gone full glowing. They were blue earlier, or were they blue or green?
They're both.
Yeah, well, now they're glowing.
She's obviously got like, I don't know, green paint or something. Whatever you can blue screen onto her face so they can make the lines glow.
For the 80s, it's not bad, really.
It's not bad. But yeah, so obviously the spider bite fucked her up and made her, like, controlled.
Possessed, I would suggest, yes.
Possessed, controlled, whatever. And now she's opening the hatches in the hold of the Starliner to let all the Marshmen with fucking sticks in.
And this is where the shit hits the fan. And it's been instigated by Romana, which is actually a pretty big deal.
I mean, she was possessed.
No, of course she was possessed, but, even so, it's a Doctor Who companion letting in the monster. I think that's a big deal.
That's, now you say that is a bit of a beat, like, go shit. Yeah.
Nothing comes of that, by the way. Eventually, they save Romana, she reverts back to normal.
What? Oh, well, nothing comes of for Romana. Letting the Marshmen.
Oh, no. Plenty of it comes for the Marshmen and others. I'm saying for Romana, nothing comes of it.
She'll get better.
She'll get better, but not quite yet, because part 4... So the Marshmen are now invading the Starliner en masse.
And Varsh is just, they're playing around with, take this out, put it back in. And then they're like, oh my god, the Marshmen are coming!
Yeah.
Varsh just throws his tool bag at them and runs away.
There's like bits of metal in the bag, so it's like distracting them. He throws it on the ground. And Kiara and Varsh get away. Talos is about to get away, but then they hear a scream of the guy that was supervising them.
Oh, this is kind of dark when you think about it.
Oh, this is really dark.
Talos goes to help this guy, and gets him away from the Marshmen. But then the Marshmen come after him, and the guy's just like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Yeah, peace out.
Well, oh, you're just a delinquent. Bye.
Yeah, I didn't like this.
Yeah.
But again, it's kind of what you said, were the Outlaws actually in the right the whole time? Were they right to not partake in this system? Because the system has now killed Tylos.
The system is, again, fucking pointless.
Yeah, but now it's actively killing people.
They're just kids. Kids will rebel against anything.
It's pointless, and now it's passively killing people.
Hey, McTeague! Pete McTeague! Throw this thing on!
I just have to point out the irony that we always plug a book on Amazon.com, but
Look,
at the end of every podcast.
There's no ethical consumption under capital. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Let's not go there.
Instead, why don't we go to, first the doctor learns about Adric's leg, how it healed really fast.
Yeah, this is the beat to a plot point earlier that his knee was healed.
Yeah, So the doctor knows that now, but more importantly, he goes back to the main area, finds Tylos is dead, and here comes a Marshman, and he's got a stick. And what's he using as a club?
K9's head.
K9's head, which the doctor takes from him and holds up in front of his own face to make them think that he's some sort of robot dog monster himself.
His ear comes off at some point.
And he puts it back, and then Romana's there, just like possessed and swiping it. Like she holds out her hands like claws, and she's like, "Rah,
well, she's
rah."
not like even. Does she make noises, or is that just like the swipe of her hands?
No. She's not making noises at all. I'm just doing that. Rah.
So it's just ADR then that they've put this swiping noise as she lunges for him.
I think it's just a soundtrack being dramatic.
Yeah, it's like that.
Well, I'm just going rah, because this is audio and you can't see me with my hand going rah, rah.
Yeah. So she's Tootie from the Band and the Banjo-Kazooie. Got it.
Well, it comes back to Banjo-Kazooie, huh?
Always. Brother, sister wants a word with you now.
Gah, and I cannot stress this enough. Huh.
I think that's the fourth time you made that joke on this podcast. Not this particular podcast, but the whole series that we've done. You like that joke a lot.
I mean, it's good.
It is good.
So, not so good. Adric pulling a little bit of subterfuge.
Well, it's good and it's bad because he is actually called out for this by the Doctor.
Yeah.
But the TARDIS was missing a component, or a component got broken earlier.
I wouldn't say broken. It's okay. The point is that the image translator is working because it's set up for regular space and not for the negative coordinates.
Right,
of
yeah.
E-space.
So it's not broken,
So,
it's just not functioning properly.
It's just not compatible with this universe.
It's like Windows 95, yeah, gotcha.
So the Doctor was like, "Oh, if I had a new image translator, I could see what's going on in E-space." And so Adric decides to swap a broken one for one that's worked from the microscope in the lab.
Yeah. And as I said, when the Doctor finds out about this, he initially chides him for it, but then he actually accepts it.
So the Deciders are trying to take charge and decide to do something, but it's pretty grim because they decide to do nothing.
Well, two of them decide to do nothing.
Well, too bad you sat around and did nothing because here come the Marshmen. They're busting in.
Yeah. Also, at this point, the way that the Doctor got away from possessed Romana is that she is subliminally chained to the TARDIS or something. Mm-hmm. Like he says, "Look, here's K9. Remember him? And here's the TARDIS. Stay by the TARDIS, Romana. Stay by the TARDIS." And then she can't move from it for a while. Until, of course, she has to, because the plot demands it. But yeah, here come the Marshmen inside the inner sanctum of the Starliner, and all hell breaks loose. Logan, who was starting to turn on his fellow Deciders, let's be honest, because say, "You're doing nothing. We're just gonna sit here and let them attack us." Well, yes, we are, because we need to decide to do something. We decide to do nothing. then citizens are running for their lives. Logan tells them, I think, to get out. And seal the emergency exits, the order is given. And then he and Gareth are like, Nefrid, you're lead decider, chief decider. What do we do? He has no answer.
I don't know. Can we just take it apart and put it back together again until I'm dead and my kids can take
Well, that's
care
about
of
to
it?
happen. But his only advice is get the doctor to pilot the Starliner.
Which, I mean...
Yeah. And then, of course, he gets attacked by a Marshman. And they fail to pull him over the bench in time.
Womp womp. So now he's about 2 days away from retirement.
He's mortally wounded. He's about 2 minutes away from retirement, permanently.
So they head down to the hold with him, and so he's dying, and he's saying, "We need to take off. We need to return to Pterodon." And here's another hint for a big reveal that's going to be coming. We can't. His dying words are that they can't return to Pterodon because they've never been.
Intrigue. I like a bit of intrigue.
Now, back at the lab, then the doctor has whipped up something he hopes will be an antidote for Romana's infection. But then the Marshmen come in. Oh boy.
Yeah, the Marshmen come in because the doctor has been experimenting with the help of Kiara. And he sent Vash, Kiara, and Adric back to the science room because it was too dangerous for them to be outside. But they're, of course, delinquents, so they don't obey. So Kiara sort of proves herself useful by helping him in the science room, while Vash and Adric go off and do things. Also, the translator that he took, he does put back in the microscope after the doctor insists.
Yeah. So we can actually use the microscope.
Yeah, the idea was he was going to give it to him as a gift for the TARDIS, but the doctor's like, no, and put it back. So he puts it back. And he starts to examine the cells. And this is a neat little trick that the episode plays.
Well, before that, we should get to the whole Marshman thing. Well, because they bust in, but it turns out they have a weakness. And it's pure oxygen in these big oxygen dispensers, which are all like... They look more like fucking... I don't know what to call them. They don't just look like extinguishers or oxygen tanks. They look spacey.
Yeah.
But pure oxygen, they can't handle it, and it makes them run away.
Well,
And then Romana shows up and is like trying to claw at them, but a bit of oxygen makes her pass out too.
it's interesting, isn't it? Because it looks like she hasn't been affected by it in the slightest at first.
Mm-hmm.
They spray her with the oxygen. She doesn't react. She continues trying to claw at the air. It blows her hair back. And then she sort of stops, briefly smiles, and then just falls over unconscious.
And here's something that made me perk up, where this is the scene where the Doctor and Kiara are examining stuff, and she says it's been 40 generations since the Starline crash. 40 generations, more like 40,000 generations. But that doesn't make sense because I have to get the exact line here because it made me fucking perk up for reasons.
Okay.
40 generations, that's a round figure. It can't be right, though. Why not? And then the Doctor says, and I quote, "Well, evolution goes in quantum leaps." And I'm like, God damn it! I can't escape this shit!
You've done it again? Question mark.
No. You don't understand podcast. I'm okay. I'm gonna tell you. So, we did this over the weekend, right? I watched Full Circle over the weekend. I watched parts 1 and 2 on Saturday, parts 3 and 4 on Sunday. So in between, on Saturday evening, I had on reruns of Seinfeld. This is a funny show. And they're doing this plot line where Jerry Seinfeld is trying to get a pilot at NBC, and they're having auditions for who's going to play, like, his friends, and it's all meta. And then the real Kramer shows up to audition for that show's Kramer, and right behind him is a fucking poster for Quantum Leap!
How the hell do you keep doing this?
And then, like, the next morning, I'm watching part 4 of Full Circle, and Tom Baker says evolution goes in quantum leaps. I'm like, will the universe cease for a minute? I'm watching this show as fast as I can.
I certainly echo the sentiment, will the universe cease for a minute?
I know, yeah. But the universe does this all the fucking time when I'm watching something or listening to something or have something in my mind. It's like every fucking facet of coincidence zeroes in to remind me of it. But you want to talk about the big reveal?
Oh yeah, I love this. So they're in the
By the
lab
way,
together.
Romana's better. By the way,
Yeah,
Romana's better.
she's been strapped down to. They use the serum on Romana, and it looks like first it hasn't worked. She wakes up and she's still got the line seemingly, and then looks back to her and she smiles. So she's better. She's okay.
Hey.
Maybe a little bit out of it, but she's okay. That's what I say. There's absolutely no consequences for her personally for opening the Starline and let the Marshmen in. I don't think she even mentions it even once. And yeah, alright, she was possessed, but she still caused it to happen while possessed. But then the big reveal is this. So he gets Kiara to look at a slide of cells. He says, "What do you think of that? You know, have you seen that before?" He says, "Well, that's a strange cell disposition for a Mars spider, Doctor. That's not a Mars spider, Kiara. That's Dexter."
It's all the same!
Yeah.
The spires evolve into the Marshmen, who then evolve into the humanoid Alzarians.
Brilliant. Really good twist, this.
And Rain, would you please put up Knives Out? Because I have to say, it makes no damn sense. Compels me though.
I will put the Knives Out thing in, even for as extra work for myself. Also, the trailer for the sequel that's just come out looks great. Batista is killing it in Hollywood. That's all I'm going to say.
Janelle Monáe, you gotta love him.
It's such a good cast. You've got Janelle Monáe, you've got Catherine Hahn, you've got Batista. This film is relevant to my interest, is what I'm basically saying.
Catherine Hahn, you know who the fuck I thought of as soon as I saw it.
It's wild, isn't it? That before WandaVision, I knew her for one thing: a 5-minute cameo in the film Tomorrowland. And that song won an Emmy.
I'm not gonna say the words so I don't spoil the WandaVision show, but if you know, you know.
Well, that song that you're not going to spoil won an award, and rightly so.
Of course it did. So, how about some tragedy?
Yeah, this is also sad. So, Adric turns up. This is where we get the reveal, you know, why it's called Full Circle. This is what Drafe meant, because he was first decider. So he had the access to this knowledge.
Oh my god! We evolved from fucking spiders and marsh people!
Yeah.
Ah!
So tell Dexter we come full circle was code for that. Find a way to tell Dexter, you know, what's happened here. Why you trust that snake, I have no idea, but there you go.
In hindsight, I don't know what that was supposed to do. Like, what is Dexter going to do with the knowledge?
Well, I think Drafe was just panicking because he was about to die.
What is Dexter going to do with the knowledge of... You evolved from a fucking spider.
I love the fact we keep alternatively calling Dexter and Dexter.
Dexter.
DD, get out of my laboratory!
We've done these.
I know, but there you are. I'm doing it again.
You're mirroring yourself.
I'm saving the joke a second time by actually doing the joke as I should have done it the first time.
Anyway, talk about Varsh.
Yeah, Varsh. So, Adric and Varsh go around spraying the Marshmen with oxygen canisters to get them out of the way.
Which, again, you know, I just realized this. I was thinking this sounded awfully familiar. And, you know, I'm thinking about Andrew Smith and how, again, you know, grew up on classic Doctor Who. Andrew Smith, I'll double check his birthday. I'm pretty sure he was born in 63.
You said 63 earlier.
Pretty sure he was born in 63. Let me check a look here. Okay, not here. Andrew Smith. No. Not that guy. Oh, okay. 27th July 1962.
Okay.
So he would have been what? 7.5 years old when they aired Inferno.
Oh
And
God!
You remember how in Inferno they had those werewolf monsters?
Oh God,
and
no!
You had to spray them down with the fire extinguishers to keep them down.
No!
I just caught that. I've seen this multiple times. I just connected those dots.
Yeah.
It has to be a callback. Not even like a callback of this is just like the Prime Warden.
But anyway, like... the two brothers are bravely fending off the Marshmen. I can't believe you brought that back. Good God.
I literally just saw that, Ricky.
I mean, I saw a parallel to a different, not the oxygen tank thing, but the whole twist about, no, not 40 generations, 40,000. I saw a parallel between that and a modern Doctor Who episode, but I'll talk about that more in the summary.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, I know what one you're talking about.
You might. The brothers, Adric and Vash, are bravely fending off the Marshmen, but Adric's cylinder starts to run out of oxygen. So Vash sends him off to get another one, or get it topped up or something, but he obviously can't fight them off anymore. And he's still fighting off and doing really well, but then he starts to run out of oxygen, and the door starts to close. He makes a run for it at the last second. He gets under the door, but a Marshman grabs him by the foot. Adric holds on to Vash's hands, tries to pull him through. He can't do it because the Marshman's too strong. Vash is pulled through and killed.
Womp womp.
And poor Adric has to see that.
Well, he doesn't see the Grizzly Athma. He hears it by the other side.
Sorry, he has to live. He has to live with that.
Yeah. And there's a touching scene where they get the door open and they find Varsh's body. And Kira takes off the badge on. Did we talk about the badge on thing?
Yeah, the mathematical excellence badge is not this. It's a type of rope.
Yeah, it's the Outler's badge. It's, hey, you're one of us.
But it's just rope.
Kira, yeah, well, they make do with what they have. But either way, Kira takes it off of Varsh and gives it to Adric and says, I think he would have wanted you to have it. Which becomes all the more heart-wrenching when you get to Earthshock, and the last shot of Adric is him holding this fucking piece of rope.
Yeah.
As the ship is about
That's
to
why
go
he's
in.
holding it.
Because it's his dead brothers.
God.
Christ.
And Vash has never mentioned it.
If only Earthshock were fucking good.
Get this.
That'd be...
I don't believe Vash is ever mentioned again during the Fifth Doctor era.
Probably not.
Unless he's mentioned in passing. But...
I don't recall.
Right, so... But then they remember to bring back the rope. Why the hell?
Because drama.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in the Fifth Doctor era they forgot about that could have made interesting long-running drama. But instead, hey, look, it's those robots you remember from when you were 10.
But what they do manage to do through Vash's sacrifice, they have figured out how to get rid of the Marshmen. So they just give orders to flood the star liner with oxygen, which won't harm the Alzarians. But the Marshmen can't take it, and why they can't take it is because they can adapt very quickly.
Yeah.
But they either adapt too soon to the oxygen, or they can't adapt quickly enough.
Which is kind of like, how an Alzarian can heal very fast from a wound.
That's exactly why they can heal fast from the wound.
Because they're descendants.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Marsmen all fuck off out of the hold and out of the hatches.
Gareth wants to kill them, but Dodd says, no, I think we should let them go. So they do.
After all, you're their descendants.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Don't forget, they didn't see the system files. Only the First Decider could do that. And they hadn't got around to appointing a First Decider yet. I assume it would have passed to Gareth.
Well, they want the Doctor.
They want him to be the Third Decider, yes. He actually refuses it. But they let all the Marshmen out slowly. Very slowly. Romana helps, so I guess that's her personal redemption.
They even, tell them how to fly the ship. They want the Doctor to do it, but he's just like, okay, you press this button, you press that button, flip this switch, bingo, bango, boom, go.
I love the way he notes out this scene twice. He says, Romana and the Doctor tell them what to do, and then she says to him, from this point on, you can just follow the system files, the instruction manuals will tell you what to do. And he says, really, Doctor? And he says, the green button, gentlemen. And he pops his head back into the TARDIS.
And so they're off. Well, and Adric even left behind that image translator. Of course, we learned retroactively that he also left himself behind on the ship while he was there.
They're very sneaky about this. You see Adric go in the TARDIS and sneak in. You see him put the translator down on the TARDIS console. You don't see Adric again after that.
Not until next week.
So if you hadn't seen any of these before, you would assume that he'd just, taken it, left, and didn't want to say goodbye to the Doctor because goodbyes were too painful. He was dealing with the death of his brother at that time. No, he stowed away.
No, cue your surprise in State of Decay when he pops up and it's like, what? Why are you still here?
The part of Stephen Taylor tonight will be played by Adric.
But of course, and speaking of the continuity, they managed to help the people of Alzarius, but the point remains. They're still stuck in E-space.
Yeah,
they came through the CVE, and they don't know how the hell to get out of here. Oh, no!
And I found out what that's called, what that stood for, finally.
Vacuum.
It's really stupid. Charged Vacuum Emboitment.
Which is wild.
I don't know what emboitment is.
It's technobabble, but also it's... Look, Christopher Bibby is weird, okay? He's weird. But that's full circle, The E-space stuff leads into State of Decay, and then Warrior's Gate, where it's resolved, and they get home. Well, the Doctor and Adric get State of...
Don't make my pain any worse. I like Romana, okay? I like Romana. But yeah, that is full circle.
Wow.
You chose it. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll take first. Why not? I really like Full Circle. It's just I really love season 18 in general, even though some of the other stories are a little lesser. There's just this weird vibe with it that isn't present in the other Tom Baker seasons. Like, it's just this little extra bonus track of weirdness that the Davison era never really picked up on. That it went in a different direction with a new Doctor, but this, you've got strange musings on evolution, you've got some great shots of the Mist and the Marshmen, and you've got a really interesting look at the society that's built an entire system on just delaying doing anything and keeping it from the people and making them think that they're doing something when in fact they're just doing pointless busy work, which is really clever the way that Smith plays with, classic Doctor Who tropes and takes a new twist of what instead of maliciousness, they were just incompetent idiots. I really like it. I really, really like it. I don't know what else to say about it.
I could tell you throughout this that you really like it.
Yeah.
It sort of shines through. And it's the sort of thing that you like.
It's very gonzo and strange.
It's gonzo, but it has a point to it.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's actually got a message to tell us. And I know you like that.
Maybe authority doesn't know everything, and they're just as much flailing around trying to be competent as you are.
Oh, that hits a bit hard in the last couple of weeks. Jesus.
Look, I didn't know that was going to happen.
No. I mean the new PM.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even touch on that.
Oh,
because
right,
the whole thing about the Queen completely overshadowed it. But we got a new PM, and actually, so far, she's done a decent job.
I have my reservations about your new PM.
I know why, and you're absolutely
exactly
entitled to those reservations. I have to live in the country where she's going to rule, though. I have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I want her to be a good leader. Whether she is or not remains to be seen. Full circle, my thoughts then. Yeah, like Jerry, I rather like this one.
Hey.
It's rather interesting, isn't it? Because mechanically, you could be forgiven for thinking it's quite dull because not a whole lot happens until part 3. Mechanically. But this is one of those times where the plot really elevates the whole serial. I know they called it episode, sorry. The whole serial. Because the plot is really rather clever. And wild that this came out of the brain of a 17-year-old boy.
Well, a 17-year-old boy with
True, but the big twists, the 40,000 generations thing, and then of course the fact that they're all descended from the same cells, is genius. It really is genius. And the 40,000 thing does bear in mind for me the Doctor's daughter.
I knew it.
That was the one you thought you were thinking of when I said it.
Yeah.
Where the twist is a similar thing, where what they think is the time that's elapsed actually hasn't. I'm going to talk about it vaguely because we'll probably get to that eventually. Maybe we'll get to it next week. We won't, but...
Yeah. I should also mention, or do you have any other thoughts on Full Circle?
Just that I don't think it's as strong as the Warrior's Gate, but it's on par with State of Decay.
I agree with you. Warrior's Gate, Full Circle, State of Decay. That's my ranking of the E-Space trilogy. And it's not even that State of Decay is bad. It's just the other two are
yes, something has to come third. Also, I really like the design and the idea of the Marshmen.
Well, yeah.
Yes, they're primitives. Yes, the camera spends too long zooming in on one of their crotches. But apart from that, it's not a bad costume, really, for 80s budget-saving Doctor Who. And the idea that they are primitives, but they can adapt and learn very quickly. Yeah, I like that. There I go using that primitives word again. Sorry. How to put this in a better way. They're not an advanced civilization, but they learn to adapt quickly. There we go. Saved it.
There you go. You did it. Good work.
What was the point you wanted to make?
I was going to talk about this one big finish I listened to because they have an E-Space sequel trilogy because, Big Finish and sequels, everything. They have a Big Finish sequel trilogy where the Fifth Doctor's TARDIS crew goes into E-Space because the continuity point is, you remember when Adric was trying to plot his way home in Earthshock?
Yeah.
But he never got to do it because, Well, the program automatically starts and creates a wormhole into E-Space based on Adric's calculations. And so whoop, they go again. And so they meet up with Elzarians again on the ship and all this in a story called Mistfall, which is more Marshman stuff. I even think Andrew Smith actually wrote it.
I'll quickly check that for you.
One interesting bit of casting is one of the Elzarians is Gemma Redgrave.
Yeah.
Kate Lester Stewart.
Yeah.
So that's wild. I just thought of that. I don't remember much about the audio itself.
It says here she's a decider, yes.
Yeah, there you go. I don't remember much about what happens and I haven't heard the other two parts and see how it picked up.
Oh wow, 2015. Much later than I thought it would be.
So yeah, she was definitely all in on Kate at that point.
And it was written by Andrew Smith. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, he does a lot for Big Finish. I don't know how much of it is good or not, but he does a lot for Big Finish.
Oh, that was wild. I can mention this.
What are we doing next time, Rain?
Yeah, you know what? Forget that point. It's not important. Next time it's my choice.
Yeah.
Because we had K9 for Kat, and then we had this for you. And I had a few ideas about what we could do. And I ummed and ahed, should I tie it in with what's happened recently? Should I not? I decided to not do that, or rather do it in a roundabout way. And instead I just picked something that I've had on my radar for a while, that we could do when there was the time came. And this is that time. So next time on Doctor Who Reviews, noted monarchist Christopher Eccleston stars in The End of the World.
Eccleston. Hey, we lose people this second. I am rubbing off on you.
Actually, to his credit, okay, the joke is that he's not a noted monarchist at all. He does not agree with the royal family.
No, I know what you're doing.
But
do I need to say the quote?
No, I don't want you to say the quote.
Okay.
People were glued to his Instagram page when the Queen was taken ill, expecting him to say something profound, and it didn't happen. And the Queen passed away, and it didn't happen. And to his credit, I don't believe that as of right now, as of Monday evening, the 12th of September, he has said anything.
I probably keep my mouth shut too on it.
So I actually really admire him for that, because this is not the time. If he did, it's not like I'd say, arrest that man, but he's choosing to remain silent, or he's just not bothered. Maybe he thinks he's got his point across already with the other.
You're not going to say arrest that man. Unlike the police, anytime someone says, "Who elected King Charles?"
I mean, that guy was a bellend for shouting that when the crowd was so united in grief, but he shouldn't have been arrested.
You're right to disagree with him, but it's not right that he was arrested.
No, you know I'm a believer in freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You know this. So he had the right, by freedom of speech, to express that opinion. But people also have the right to not be happy about that.
That too.
That's how freedom of speech, works. It's freedom of speech for all, not just for one person.
Freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequence.
Exactly, and that's what too many people don't seem to get. That it doesn't protect you from being judged, nor should it protect you from being judged.
Is one thing. Arrested.
Yes.
That's crossing the.
And they should have. If the objective was to get him out of there so he wasn't like torn apart by the crowd, by all means lead him out, say he's arrested, and then here's the thing: the British police have the power to de-arrest somebody. Just do that. Make a big show he's arrested. Don't like slam him on the ground or anything like that. Just take him out of the crowd. Say we've got him. It's all right, guys. We've got him. We'll deal with him. Put him in the van and say, right, you're de-arrested. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
that would have done it fine.
That would have been a fair.
As for the woman that was arrested for holding up a sign, don't get me started.
How about you tell us where we can find us lovely people?
You don't even know why I've picked the end of the world? Oh, well, no, because, I just think that we should go back to Eccleston, and I didn't want to do certain stories because of certain people in them.
20 women.
20 women, and also we don't want to do a particular two-parter until we can contact a potential guest star.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't got around to setting that up yet.
I really want that to happen.
I do as well, so we should probably make moves to have that happen.
That would be something.
If the person is up for it. If they're not up for it, I'm not going to force them.
Well, we'll have to give them an ask about it.
Yeah.
But,
where can you find us, lovely people? Well, Jerry, you can find us, lovely people, on Twitter at ReviewsDoctor. Individually, we are at Ready the Maniac, at Freezing Inferno, at Concave Usurper, and at the Kachiri. And then it's twitch.tv/Raniac /Freezing Inferno /Concave Usurper and / is it the Kachiri or Kachiri?
The Kachiri.
The Kachiri again. Yeah, that's right. He tied it in with his Twitter page. And I do have something, not to plug, but to mention. But before that, Buy Back to the Empire by Kristen McTeer, Volumes 1 and 2 on Amazon.com. By the Tower Through the Trees by Sean Dillon. And here's the thing I want to mention. So, on Saturday, I had a bit of time, so I did a Fall Guys stream. It didn't go so well. Mike nearly won us a crown.
Oh, Mike!
But we had some technical difficulties, and so what was going to be 2 hours streaming turned into 1 and a bit. There was an amazing ending to that stream, which I have put on my Twitch page as a highlight.
Beautiful.
But then, funnily enough, today, Fall Guys released a trailer, and season 2's on the way.
That just what does that mean? More?
It means a fresh season of games and rewards.
Okay.
And that means that, once again, we're all going to be on a fairly even footing. So, either Friday or Saturday, again, I'm going to get some people together. Hopefully this guy will be able to actually be in it this time. And we'll play the new rounds. The theme is space.
Final frontier.
Yeah, the thing that really terrifies me, there's a new final round and it's 4-person tiptoe.
Right.
Because single player tiptoe was not bad enough, apparently.
Yay.
Let's add in the fact that now you can have teammates that can either mess it up for you or win you the game for you. I don't know how it works. Do you have anything else to plug apart from your Quantum Leap blog?
Well, speaking of the Quantum Leap blog, this week we're posting season 4 of a quantum microcosm adrift in the sea of history. And season 4 is fucking rough. Can I even talk about some of the heavy subject matter that I've had to deal with?
If you want to talk about it, I'll just put a warning on the screen right now.
All right, there's a warning on the screen. Well, I need to say the words out too. Talk about the kind of episodes that are covered in season 4. So here is your warning, because I'm going to talk about those things. I mean, there's a 3-episode stretch early on in the season where there's 3 distinct episodes. The first one is about bigots in America. And I won't say their name, but they're the type of bigots that wear white.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, they go there.
Oh, my God.
Then there's an episode with a little Joseph Gordon-Levitt, a little young Joseph Gordon-Levitt, you know, the actor from Inception and other films from the 90s, involving drug cartels trying to kill him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wholesome for the kids.
Oh, wholesome. And then we follow that up with a frank, harrowing episode about sexual assault.
Oh, dear God. Why are you still watching this show?
Because, look, Mike has been so fond of telling me, this is exactly what you wanted. I wanted to escape Chibnall Doctor Who, which is just like Doctor Who for Doctor Who's sake, and get into stuff that was all about real issues in the real world. Well, I fucking got it!
Yeah, mission accomplished. You're probably going to wish you didn't do it.
Mission accomplished. Help me! Ah! And tomorrow on the blog, believe it or not, because we're recording this on the Monday now, and I've got these 2 parts up, so it does include all the episodes I just talked about. And Tuesday's post will open with a 90s episode about gay rights and homophobia.
Fun.
In the Navy. Oh, it's gonna be a fucking dinger. Like, oh my God. So that episode, there are lighthearted episodes. There's a fucking episode where Scott Bakula leaps into the body of a chimpanzee.
Of course he does.
Not kidding. Because of course he does. That's just the kind of thing you do in your long show when you get to season 4. There's other fun episodes along the way. Oh yeah. There's one horrifying cameo later in the season. It's interesting. It's interesting. And now I'm watching season 5, which opened with, I shit you not. Hey, remember how Scott Bakula leaped into a chimpanzee? Remember how fun that was? You want to know who he leaps into in the season 5 premiere?
Lucy Lawless.
Lee Harvey Oswald!
Oh!
So that's the kind of week I've been having!
See, the chimpanzee thing seems tame by comparison.
No shit, it seems tame by comparison. He leaps into the most famous assassin in American history.
Well, I'd argue John Wilkes Booth.
I'd put him in.
Okay, this is not assessing top trumps. We're not doing this. We're not giving Lee Harvey Oswald like 95 on assassination scores and John Wilkes Booth 85. We're not doing that.
No, we're not doing that. But I'm just letting you know. But what I've had to deal with in this show, and it's so much more socially real than anything Chibnall shit out. So while we're waiting for him to decide whether or not he actually wants to air his final special, say goodnight, Rainiac.
Whether he wants to air it, good night, Rainiac. I think it'll be October 23rd, but the thing is, they still haven't confirmed it.
Well, that's funny because I saw a thing today. It was like Doctor Who Production News tweeted. It's like, well, BBC America doesn't have any marathons planned for the Centenary Week, so theoretically the special could air on October 23rd because there's a lot. And I had the mentality. I said, like, this is where we're at. That instead of having the date like promoted and confirmed, we have to look at the fucking holes in the schedule and read them like fucking tea leaves and try to divine the air date.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, isn't it? It is.
Right. Almighty. Say goodnight.
Yeah, well, I've already said goodnight once before. I'm not going to say it again. But
I'll say, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening to us talk about Full Circle. Sorry about the whole, 2-part podcast thing. It couldn't be helped.
Don't blame me. Blame you for letting out.
I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying sorry that we had to do it the way that we did, but it's okay. The show must go on, and it did. And the show will go on again next week when we talk about the end of the world. How's that for a segue? Bam! Until next time, bye for now.
Oh, there is one thing that I'd like. Are you still recording?
I am.
I just want to, you can insert this at the time when they talk about the pilot, but it's just a little funny story that I want to tell about it. So, like I said before, I was watching this with Chris, and we get to the part where, like, you know, the doctor's accusing them being, like, you could have flown this thing at any time, it is perfectly ready to go. Why aren't you, you know, getting ready to go? And, you know, I'm thinking, well, maybe they're having a problem where they can't generate the fuel or something. But what I say out loud is, we don't know how to drive it. And then the dude says, we don't have a pilot, and we're just dying.
Good timing. Very good timing.
Because I did not expect that to be the actual answer, was we don't know how to drive it.
God, but between this and you just breaking the end of the stream last night, how is it you and Chris are so good at timing these things?
Because we are essentially the same person.
I'm starting to find that out to my cost.
It is almost creepy how much alike we are.